In 1912, a German paleontologist named Ernst Stromer excavated a series of bones from the Egyptian Sahara. The bones were unlike anything he had seen. They belonged to a predator so large, so anatomically strange, that he struggled to make sense of what he was looking at. He shipped the fossils to Munich. He published his findings, and for 30 years, those bones sat in a museum. Then, in April 1944, a British bombing raid destroyed the museum. Every single Spinosaurus fossil Stromer had ever found was incinerated overnight. For decades after that, Spinosaurus existed only in drawings based on notes. Scientists argued about what it looked like, how it moved, what it hunted. Nobody could agree, because the only evidence had burned. What they eventually found, when new fossils finally emerged, was something nobody had predicted. And it raised a question that paleontologists are still arguing about today. Approximately 95 million years ago, during the Cretaceous period, what is now the Sahara Desert was something else entirely. It was a vast, low-lying river delta, warm, shallow, braided with enormous waterways. Scientists call this environment the Kem beds, after the geological formation in Morocco, where much of the evidence survives. This was not a dry savanna with a predator hunting across open ground. It was a flooded, semi-aquatic landscape, dense with vegetation, crisscrossed with rivers, and those rivers were full of prey, unlike anything alive today. The fish in these waterways were not small. Coelacanths, nearly 2 meters long, sawfish with rostrums the size of a grown man, and a species called Onchopristis, a sawfish that reached lengths of 8 meters or more, armored with serrated rostral teeth as large as human hands. This was Spinosaurus territory, not open plains, not dry forest, water, constantly, extensively, water. Spinosaurus aegyptiacus is the largest carnivorous dinosaur ever discovered. Not the most famous, the largest. Current estimates based on the most complete specimens place it at between 14 and 15 meters in length. Some estimates reach higher. For comparison, the largest confirmed T-Rex ever found, a specimen called Scotty, measured approximately 12.3 meters. Spinosaurus was longer, and in certain skeletal dimensions, substantially heavier in its anterior region. But size is not what makes it strange, is its shape. Spinosaurus had a skull unlike any other large theropod. Long, narrow, low to the ground, with conical interlocking teeth rather than the blade-like serrated teeth of other large predators. The tip of the snout was expanded, with small pressure-sensitive pits in the bone. The same structures found in crocodilians for detecting movement in water. The nostrils sat far back along the skull, above the midpoint, not at the tip. Another feature consistent with an animal that submerges its snout while keeping its airways clear. Its forelimbs were long and powerful. Its hind limbs were proportionally short. Its center of gravity sat far forward, so far forward that walking upright on 2 legs, in the posture of other large theropods, would have been mechanically unstable. And rising from its back were neural spines, vertebral extensions reaching up to 1.65 meters tall. Their function is one of the longest-running arguments in paleontology. The neural spines running along Spinosaurus's back are real. They are among the best documented features of the animal. What connected them, what kind of tissue ran between them, is not confirmed. The most widely depicted hypothesis is a sail, a thin membrane of skin stretched between the spines, like the fin on a sailfish. Some researchers have argued this sail functioned in thermoregulation, catching sunlight to warm the animal or dissipating heat in an already warm environment. Others have proposed the spines supported a muscular hump, more like a bison than a sail. A hump would provide energy storage, fat reserves for periods between large meals. Given that Spinosaurus appears to have lived in an environment where prey availability fluctuated seasonally with water levels, a fat reserve would have been enormously useful. A third hypothesis suggests the structure was primarily for display, visual communication between individuals of the same species. Some living animals, such as certain basilisk lizards and frilled neck lizards, use dorsal crests for exactly this purpose. No hypothesis is confirmed. In over a century since Spinosaurus was first described, the function of its most defining feature remains genuinely unknown. For most of the 20th century, Spinosaurus was reconstructed as a large, primarily terrestrial predator. Unusual with its long skull and sail, but fundamentally a land animal like its theropod relatives. Something that perhaps waded into water occasionally to catch fish, but returned to land to move, rest, and hunt large prey. In 2014, a partial skeleton was recovered from the Kem beds of Morocco. It was the most complete Spinosaurus specimen, found since Stromer's original bones were destroyed in 1944. The research team was led by paleontologist Nizar Ibrahim. What the skeleton revealed overturned the reconstruction entirely. The hind limbs were short, far shorter, relative to body size, than in any other known large theropod. The bones were dense. In most theropods and in most birds, bone density is low. Hollow bones reduce weight and allow speed on land. Spinosaurus's leg bones were dense and solid, with almost no internal hollow space. Dense bones reduce buoyancy. They are found in diving birds such as penguins and in semi-aquatic mammals. They are an adaptation for animals that need to submerge and stay submerged. The feet were broad and flat. The toes showed evidence of webbing. Ibrahim's team concluded that Spinosaurus was not an occasional wader. It was a semi-aquatic predator, a dinosaur that spent a significant portion of its life in water. The first large dinosaur known to science with this lifestyle. The 2014 paper immediately generated substantial disagreement within the scientific community. Not about whether Spinosaurus was aquatically adapted, the bone density evidence was difficult to dismiss, but about how aquatic it actually was. Some researchers argued that Ibrahim's team had gone too far, that Spinosaurus was an ambush predator like a heron or a modern crocodilian, wading the shallows, striking downward into the water, but not a swimmer in any meaningful sense. That its short hind limbs made it slow and vulnerable on land, not because it had abandoned land, but because it had never needed to move quickly there. In 2020, a new study added a different piece of evidence. Researchers analyzed the isotopic composition of Spinosaurus teeth recovered from multiple sites. Isotope ratios in bone and enamel reflect the chemistry of the water an animal drinks and absorbs. The isotopic signature in Spinosaurus teeth was consistent with an animal spending extensive time submerged in fresh water, similar to the signatures seen in modern crocodilians and hippopotamuses, and distinctly different from those of large terrestrial dinosaurs from the same region. Then, also in 2020, a second paper dropped. It analyzed a newly discovered tail section from Spinosaurus. The neural spines in the tail were tall and paddle-shaped, not the spike-like processes seen in the tails of terrestrial theropods, but a structure suited to generating thrust in water. Computer modeling suggested the tail could have propelled the animal through water with meaningful efficiency. The picture that emerged was of an animal genuinely designed, over millions of years of evolution, to hunt in rivers, not just to wade them, to enter them. Here is what makes Spinosaurus genuinely disturbing, once you understand the full picture. Theropod dinosaurs, the group that includes T-Rex, Velociraptor, and ultimately modern birds, evolved as terrestrial predators. Everything about their body plan, over hundreds of millions of years, was optimized for land. Upright posture, bipedal locomotion, hollow bones for speed and agility, binocular forward-facing vision for depth perception when pursuing prey. Aquatic predation was the domain of a completely different lineage. Mosasaurs, plesiosaurs, ichthyosaurs, marine reptiles that had returned to water from terrestrial ancestors tens of millions of years earlier. Spinosaurus did not do that. Spinosaurus remained a theropod dinosaur. Bipedal skeleton, theropod skull, dinosaur respiratory system, and yet it substantially reinvented itself for water, without becoming a marine reptile, without abandoning its dinosaur body plan. It modified itself, partially, incompletely, and in doing so became something that had no real equivalent before or since.